Hey everyone, I am back. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. I hope that you have had a wonderful week here. If you are new to Mental Health Moment, welcome, welcome. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. We are here every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And for those of you who tune in every single Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, welcome back. And for those of you who are watching the replay on Dr. Nekeshiahm Hammond YouTube channel, welcome, welcome, and thanks so much for joining here today. I reside in the Tampa Bay area of Florida. For those of you who watch Mental Health Moment each week, usually I'm in a different city or so, but today I am back in the Tampa Bay area of Florida. I hope that you've had a really great week. For those of you new to Mental Health Moment is all about how do you become the best version of who you are so you can show up for yourself and also show up for those around you. On today's Mental Health Moment, I wanted to take a minute. Today's still this month, of course, is still Mental Health Awareness Month. Very important month. One of my favorite months of the year, of course, because all things mental health awareness. But one of the things that happens sometimes as you're continuing in your own journey to learn ways for you to be better, ways for you to move ahead with your wellness goals and your mental health, which are great things. There's things that pop up sometimes, and it can be really discouraging, right? And you may feel like giving up on some of your wellness goals. So today's mental health moment is really all about how do you not be discouraged, right? Especially with everything happening in the world. But I say this today on today's mental health moment because I was just reading today. I was not happy. I was reading today on Twitter about you all may have heard, for some of you that may have heard one of the speeches during President Biden's inauguration a couple years back from a poet named Amanda Gorman, right? And she essentially, that famous poem turned into a book, and it was in elementary schools and all that sort of thing. And she's done so much work, so much inspiration to, I mean, people all over the globe, really, with her work. And so I saw today on Twitter that her book had been banned in a school, an elementary school in Miami-Dade County, which is Miami here in Florida. And it was disheartening because some of you may have heard, because of course it's made national news. Of course, I live in Florida, and a lot of things that happen in Florida make national news, unfortunately. But of course, there's more book bans going on and all these sorts of things that are very political that affect our kids, unfortunately, in their education and their cultural awareness and all these sorts of things. And I'm sharing this with you because it seems very discouraging. That's just one thing, but there's so many things around us sometimes that can feel very discouraging. So whether it's something that's going on in your personal life right now, whether it's just things that you're happening, things that you're reading, whether it's on social media, traditional media, other people you know, your family members, your friends, when you start to take too much of the negativity in, it gets very discouraging, right? So how do you stay uplifted? How do you stay encouraged? Because this is going to be one of the things that's going to be really, really important. However, though, big asterisk, however, I am not by any means telling you to gloss over things, to brush your feelings under the rug. You should absolutely feel your feelings and process how you're feeling with things, but at the same time work on staying encouraged through this journey, through this mental health journey, right? Because I'm not going to lie, you all, today, I was really just not happy hearing these sorts of things. And it just, going back to this poem, like I read it, I even read it again because I heard the speech at the inauguration years ago, but I reread it. I read it, for each line, and I just really couldn't understand just the hatred and all the things that are happening politically, that which affect our kids, right? But a lot of these things, again, can affect us and our mental health and our wellness when we take too much of the bickering, the fighting, the violence, and all the things that are happening in the world, in our global community, right? When we take it too much to heart. So whatever you need to do today to cleanse yourself, to cleanse your energy, to think about, maybe for some of you it's prayer, maybe for some of you it's self-care, maybe for some of you it's spending time with family and friends. Whatever it is for you that you need to be doing to stay encouraged is something that you have to make a commitment to. This is a commitment, right? Because there's always going to be things that pop up. Yep, someone said um and sometimes overwhelming. It absolutely can be overwhelming, right? There's so many things, and whew, there's so many things, it seems like, that tend to happen all at once, right? If only our if only our surprises or our disappointments or our stresses, if only they were spread out perfectly, right? That's unrealistic. So there's things that, again, happen in our personal lives, and there's things that happen in the world that sometimes just happen, like, too many things all at one time, and it's overwhelming. So again, you are allowed to feel what you feel overwhelmed, that is allowed. Feel stressed out, that is allowed. You are normal, but also work on staying encouraged, which I know sometimes is easier said than done, depending on where you're at. But I strongly encourage you to work as much as you can to get back to that place of inner peace, to get back to that place of being encouraged, to get back to that place of being inspired, to get back to that place of rest, relaxation, right? That is your goal, to get back to those places of inner peace. There's so much happening, as well. For those of you who are not new to mental health moment, you know that I absolutely have a heart for our youth. And so I think that's why that particular story hit me a little bit harder today, because I'm like, man, we are just doing our kids a disservice because of the nonsense, because of the politics, because of the ways of the world, just because of all this fighting that's happening. We are impacting our kids, our youth, in a negative way by this happening, by taking away education, by taking away books, by taking away creative works. Like, this is really impactful, and it's very sad. So absolutely true. I couldn't agree with you more. We did a whole mental health moment about that, actually. And actually, that's a whole chapter in my new book coming out, which I will be announcing in the next couple of months, as I'm finishing up some things, getting some things to the editor and all that sort of thing. But one of the chapters of my new book that'll be out the end of this year will specifically be on self-love. We've also talked about it before at length, right? On mental health moments. You can always catch the replays on YouTube, but it is very, very important. Again, I don't say this lightly. I know that things are overwhelming at times. I have worked with thousands and thousands of people and heard so many stories from so many people from all different walks of life. So I know, I get it. Personally and professionally, I get that we are going to have our challenges. We're going to have our dark times. Uh, but even through that, when you really work on committing, though, to doing your best to not be discouraged, those things are really important. So I'll give you an example. Speaking of being discouraged, the beginning of this week, there was just a lot happening personally. And I'll never forget, I was on, anyway, someone's social media channel, and he posted this message, and it was a personal message about his journey through mental health, and his journey of where he's at now. And it was just, you know how sometimes you just hear things that you absolutely needed in that moment. You're like, man, thank you, God. Right? Or thank you, universe, or, whoever it is you want to thank for that message, for that post that you read, for that inspirational word. Maybe it's a motivational message, maybe it's a motivational quote, or whatever it is for you that you just needed in that time frame. Right? So not only is it important for you to be in a place of committing to doing your best to stay encouraged, but you're just going to be in different points in life when you are, maybe right now you're like, Dr. Hammond, I'm in a really dark place and this is hard. Or maybe you're on the opposite side and you're like, Dr. Hammond, I'm feeling really good right now, I'm feeling so encouraged. And maybe you are in a place where you can help someone else, right? And when I say help someone else, I mean, we're talking about little small things that go really far, like sharing something inspirational online, or checking in with someone, or taking the time um to reach out in some way. Like the little small things are what make a really big difference. So again, I want you to remember today to make that commitment to do your best to stay encouraged despite all the things that are happening in the world, despite everything you're reading online, everything you're seeing, all the negativity. There's still a lot of space for positivity. There's still a lot of amazing, good people in the world. You are enough. You are a good person as well. And you have the opportunity, if you're in that place, to also help someone to be encouraged, because a lot of people need to be encouraged. And it's interesting because as I was telling you about, the beginning of this week was just a lot going on. And when I read that person's post that was so inspirational to me, um, the person that wrote it, I don't even think, I mean, how would he have known, right? How many people he could have impacted by sharing his story and sharing a motivational message and sharing something inspirational, right? You don't, my point is, you don't even know who you're helping sometimes when you're sharing positivity around you. You don't know what another person is going through. You don't know what's happening behind closed doors. Just because you see 3 posts on someone's social media for a week doesn't mean you know anything that's happening with them, right? So the little things that we can do when you're in that space to do it really just makes a tremendous impact. So I encourage you to do that. This is a journey for you. I can tell you all the ways that I stay encouraged, but the point is, you have to know for you. And I think most of you already know that answer, but if you don't, that's okay. Then you get into a space, whether it's moment of silence, whether it's prayer for you, whether it's self-care, whether it's meditation, whatever it is for you to learn what it is about you that you need to be encouraged, right? Because when you know that, they tune out of everything. I know a lot of people that do that. They shut down social media. They shut down right, their access to media. They might have to take a break from certain people that may be toxic for them, or certain situations or certain environments, right? You have to know for you though what it is that helps you to stay encouraged. It's critically important, especially right now with everything going on in the world, that you know what you need to stay encouraged. And the reason why this is so important is because, which is also the reason why I'm writing my next book, is because as much as I think we in the field of mental health have done our best to provide so much public education. Of course, this is Mental Health Awareness Month, and we're trying to save lives. We're trying to do prevention efforts. We're trying to do public education, all these great things. But the reality is, unfortunately, there's not even enough mental health professionals in the world to be able to fully handle the need, if you will, of the mental health issues that exist. So that being the case, I am not by any means saying that going to a mental health professional is not important. I am one as a psychologist, and of course, I believe in the profession, and it's so needed. However, though, there's not enough professionals. There's 8 billion people in the world. There's nowhere near that many mental health professionals in the world. So to say just everybody go to therapy is unrealistic for a lot of different reasons. So I'm not suggesting that you cure yourself from anything, but I am strongly encouraging you though to work on your self-awareness, to work on your own understanding of what can I do to help myself. If you need a mental health professional, though, please seek that out. But I also know by fact that sometimes there's people that cannot afford mental health professionals. There's a lack of health insurance. There's a stigma of mental health. There's all these things that prevent that service, unfortunately, which may or may not apply to you. But nonetheless, it's really important for you to learn in your own journey, because this could be something that maybe you're already seeing a therapist, maybe you're already seeing a mental health professional, and you need something supplemental in your life. And this is something you can do on your own. Maybe you'll never see a mental health professional, and the only thing you do is your own self work, or maybe it's a combination. It just really depends on what is, your resources and the people around you, resources, availability, where you live, all these sorts of things really factor in. But I want to strongly encourage you to do your best to stay uplifted, to stay encouraged despite everything that is happening around us. Mental Health Minute was actually what this was originally called years ago, probably like 5 years ago or so. It was actually a mental health minute, and it got changed to mental health moment probably about 4 years ago or so. So nonetheless, this is mental health moment now. But again, so I want to remind you of these things today, especially in this month of mental health awareness month. If you all need me at any time, you can always reach out dr.nekeshiahm.com. You can reach out on Twitter or Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Dr. Nekeshia Hammond. You can find me on there. I'm usually sharing resources related to mental health on Twitter. On my Instagram, I'm usually sharing something inspirational because I truly believe we all just need that. We need our best to stay uplifted. Especially throughout everything that's happening in the world and our personal lives. So I'm usually sharing that on there as well as Facebook and LinkedIn. So anywhere you want to connect, if you need some inspiration, if you need some motivation, I'm on there. If you need a mental health professional in your area, you can always reach out as well. Send me a private message. I'll do my best to try to connect you to a resource or an individual in your area. Um, and as soon as I have more information, because I know some of you have asked, as soon as I have more information about the book publishing date, I will definitely let each and every one of you all know. But I will tell you that this new book of mine coming out, it was absolutely inspired by Mental Health Moment, and just hearing over so many years all of your thoughts and just the things that you've shared from all over the globe, really every continent except for Antarctica, right? Has been on here, and it's been an absolute honor. And I just love Mental Health Moment and sharing this information with you. So this has really inspired this next book, which is about becoming the best version of yourself, which is everything we talk about in Mental Health Moment. But as soon as I have more information on that, I will definitely let each and every one of you know. And again, if you need me, dr.nekeshiahm.com. Have an amazing week. Remember to do your best to stay uplifted, to stay encouraged. Please be encouraged. Please know that you deserve to be happy. You deserve to be emotionally healthy. You deserve to have joy in your life. You deserve each and every one of these things. You are worthy of these things. No matter what society tells you, no matter what you're hearing around you, no matter what someone told you about yourself, none of those things are true. And no matter the things that sometimes you tell yourself, which isn't always true, right? Just because we think it doesn't make it true. So remember those things, though, the positive things about you and your mental health journey. And I will see you all next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. Have an amazing week, and I'll see you all next time. Bye, you all.